Welcome back to Face to Face. I'm Dana Gentry. The economy has governments considering innovative approaches to raising revenue. Among the ideas, a suggestion from California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger that the state debate regulating and taxing the sale of marijuana. Joining me now from the Marijuana Policy Project of Nevada, Neil Levine. He led the effort to legalize marijuana in 2006. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me back.
You guys don't give up? Are you just striking while the iron is hot now with all of these economic problems?
Well, you know, we sort of fly in the face of the stereotype of your typical marijuana advocate. You believe the government propaganda commercials. I should be sitting on a couch in my mom's basement probably instead of trying to pass this thing. But no, I said on election night 2006 we will get this back on the ballot at some point in the future, and we remain committed to passing this law in Nevada.
All right, well, let's take a look at what Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger said about the potential for legalizing marijuana.
I think it's time for a debate. I think all of those ideas of creating extra revenues, I'm always for an open debate on it. And I think that we ought to study very carefully on what other countries are doing that have legalized marijuana and other drugs, what effect it had on those countries, and are they happy with that decision?
The San Diego News Network wrote about the push for legalization, said that those decisions haven't worked out so well. Legalization has been tried before and failed miserably, says the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration's website. Alaska's experiment with legalization in the 1970s led to the state's teens using marijuana at more than twice the rate of other use nationally. This led Alaska's residents to vote to recriminalize marijuana in 1990. The Dutch have found success, but the Kingdom of the Netherlands doesn't have a Bakersfield. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but
Not sure either.
you know, you guys always argue that by legalizing marijuana for adults, it would keep it out of the hands of kids. You really don't believe that. There would still be a black market for marijuana, wouldn't there?
Well, I didn't argue that. What I said was that, that our laws don't work. And so I said back in 2006, Todd Raybuck quoted me as saying, you know, kids are going to do what kids are going to do. But as a society, what we can do is we can treat this in a more responsible way. We can put regulations, we can put controls, and we can tax it. Right now, we're trusting drug dealers to decide who can buy marijuana, where we can take it. We're talking about something that's safer than alcohol. And we can put it into a tightly taxed and regulated market. We can put it on a we-card system. We can control entry. We can decide where these establishments will be. And we can derive tax revenue from the sale of marijuana.
Do you have any empirical data that marijuana is safer than alcohol?
There's a ton of studies that show that marijuana is safer than alcohol. In over 5,000 years of recorded medical history, no one has ever died from a marijuana overdose, ever.
But you know that there are car accidents involving fatalities, and marijuana is attributed to be the cause all the time.
Well, if you take a look at the evidence and you compare it to alcohol, it's night and day. The reality is that alcohol is a far more dangerous drug. It's a far more addictive drug. It's a far more disabling drug. And as a society, we decided it was much better to take it out of the hands of gangsters and regulate it and tax it. And you take a look at all the violence that's raging on the southern border right now. It's the exact same situation that we were looking at when alcohol prohibition was decided to be a failed policy.
In fact, I want to show you the Contra Costa Times wrote about public support for legalized marijuana. They said a field poll in April found 56% of California voters now favor it. As recently as 2004, a similar poll found less than 40% did. Nationally, a recent ABC News Washington Post poll found that 46% of Americans favor legalizing small amounts of pot for personal use, up from 22% in 1997. What do you think that is? Do you think it's the futility of fighting this drug war against marijuana, or do you think it's the violence in Mexico that's associated with the marijuana drug war?
If you plot out on a graph from the national polling from the 70s till now, as Nate Silver did, it looks like that. And the reason is we're in the information age. We're in the age of the internet, and the facts are on our side. So you have a government that has spent literally billions of dollars on propaganda telling people that marijuana is a far more dangerous drug than it is, and confusing causation with correlation. And when you look at this in a pragmatic way, marijuana is safer than alcohol. It is a substance that is has been called therapeutically safe, not just by us. We're talking about, you know, the IOM. We're talking about the RAND Corporation in studies commissioned by the British government. The reality is the laws don't work. It does cause violence. It does cause crime. We have this enormous untaxed marijuana market that we could tap into. It already exists. Marijuana is the #1 cash crop in the state of California right now.
I think it generated something like, what, $18 million in tax revenue?
And there's a proposal in the California legislature to tax and regulate marijuana to get that revenue. So if you really take a step back and you take a look at this, and you take a look at the harms to society, our marijuana laws cause far more harm to society than marijuana does itself. And the number of people being arrested for just marijuana possession in this country every year is the combination.
Oh, we had you on with Sheriff Bill Young when he was the sheriff at the time, and I remember him saying, we're not going into homes and arresting people for possessing marijuana.
He said when I was on with Sheriff Bill Young, he said that he disputed the numbers from the state of Nevada. We put a ticker up on our website, a clock that's still on the old archive campaign website at regulatemarijuana.org, and we said, you know, here's what he said, and here's the proof. Bill Young should retract his statements, and he never did. So he said that data coming from the state of Nevada itself was wrong, and if you look at the data in Nevada, marijuana arrests keep going up and up and up every year. So we could do better with our police resources. We can do better with how we spend our tax money. And we could generate a lot more tax money for something, like I said, that is safer than alcohol.
We already have gambling. We have prostitution, not legal in Clark County, of course, but in 15 counties in the state. Wouldn't legalizing marijuana just make us kind of the laughingstock of the nation?
No, I don't think so. I think, well, obviously I don't think so, because I think that we should legalize marijuana. We should tax and regulate it. So I think that would make us, Nevada would be on the forefront, the cutting edge, a pragmatic state of people who look at issues and put aside the rhetoric and take a look at what's best for society and what's best for our people.
Okay, Neil Levine, I have a feeling we haven't heard the last of this. I have a feeling you guys are going to be around for a while.
We poured cement in the state.
Okay, we will have you.